some people might not have liked it. Some people saw it as me walking away from my team, but ultimately I had to look at it as this is a business decision, because this is a business, whether you like it or not. I still go back in my head and wonder, could I have done something different? But I wouldn't be sitting here, I wouldn't have this shot if I had tried to play through that injury.
You were here for 6 years, correct? Which is longer than most players get because of the COVID year. What has this program meant to you?
It's meant a lot, you know. I'm kind of proof that even the hard times fall on even the strongest and the most dedicated, you know what I mean? But, you know, I walked away this program with several honors. I walked away with 3 degrees. Respect of all my teammates and coaches, you know, it did a lot for me. It's the man you've seen sitting before you wouldn't be possible without some of the people in this building, players and coaches alike.
I'm sure there's a long list, but if you had to pick one coach or player who has made the most impact on your career, who would you think that would be?
Coach-wise, Coach Glass. I think it's a tie between Coach Glass, Coach Bladnick, and Coach Joe Bob. You know, Joe Bob for finding me and believing in me, you know, just some kid out of a South Tulsa town that he brought in, never made it easy on me, but also never promised me anything or gave me anything that I didn't earn. And definitely instilled, along with Coach Glass, you know, Coach Glass instilled that toughness in me. He got that dog. What's up, boss? You know, but I would say those 2 guys, and then, you know, me and Joe Bob, you know, he's not a talkative guy. I don't know if you know that. Not a talkative guy, but me and him, you know, just a handshake note, like, we know, like, I appreciate everything you did for me. You know what I mean? I still do. That's along with Glass. And me beating Jamie Bladnick also excelled my career to a whole new level, as y'all saw in 2021, you know. It's cool to see guys come back that excelled, that lived the life that you aspired to live, and lived it the exact way, you know, coming through OSU, being a defensive lineman, you know. And I'm eternally grateful for him as well, along with Glass and Coach Joe Bob.
You mentioned the 2021 season and the success that you had during that year and that the entire team had. However, after that season ended, you had 2 shoulder surgeries. Was there a point where you thought that might be it for football?
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. You know, not a lot of people know. I had already written my, I was going to declare for the draft. Fiesta Bowl that night didn't go, or I guess that morning, it didn't go the way I wanted it to, you know. Sustained an injury and was lucky enough to get to come back for another year. Or maybe, because you maybe wouldn't see me sitting here right now if it hadn't been for the extra year. You know, it kind of saved me. It hurt a lot. You know, it hurt a lot to see my friends and guys I'd grinded with in the combine that I know I should be there with. Instead, I'm on the couch with 2 screws and 40 staples in my chest. You know what I mean? But, you know, this year's kind of evolved me as a person in and out, you know. Like you mentioned this year, it didn't go the way I wanted to. I probably think about it every day. Having to make that decision, it was hard, still hard.
The decision to end your season early.
Yeah.
Why did you make that decision?
The extent of my injury was something I couldn't no longer play through. I was, unbeknownst to me until I go in there and get it looked at, risking serious health injuries, stuff that would affect my, not just football career, but my way of life. If I were to roll the dice and try to play through that. Was it hard? Yeah. You know, we were 5-1. And I still, in my head, was like, you know, I'm helping this team get us back to Arlington, you know, so it was hard. But I was telling the media earlier, I had the support of all 150 guys in that room, and that's really all I cared about. I cleared it with everybody. I talked to the coaches, people alike, but when you have 100 people in that room that looking you in the face said you did all you could, and we have your back, you know, that's that was ultimately my deciding factor.
What did that mean to you?
Meant everything, you know, it still does. I come back this week and it's like I never left, you know. A respect for all of those guys in that room, and especially the guys that were in our D-line room, you know. A lot of the rooms in this country, especially position rooms, aren't like that room, you know. In the beginning of that season, I stressed to them, you know, every senior got to go up there and talk, and it was like, I want y'all to know, like, this isn't normal, you know. Position groups don't hang out like this. Position groups don't consider each other family. You go, all you guys are gonna be at my wedding, at my funeral one day, like, alike, you know what I mean? So I want y'all to know, like, I look at y'all just like I would look at my own.
Looking back, why was it the right choice for
Had to
you?
have been, you know. Some people might not have liked it. Some people saw it as me walking away from my team, but ultimately I had to look at it as this is a business decision, because this is a business game, you know what I mean? Whether you like it or not, like I said, I still go back in my head and wonder, could I have done something different? But I wouldn't be sitting here, I wouldn't have this shot if I had tried to play through that injury. I might not even have a career anymore.
You got a tattoo. Just sort of remind yourself of what you've been through. What is that tattoo?
I've got one on my arm right here, symbolizing, I wish I could show y'all, it's a Spartan kind of fighting a lion off by himself. And as it progresses through the tattoo up my arm, it's him kind of flexing in glory in front of the Coliseum. It's just kind of, to me, kind of symbolizes the battles I had to fight on my own that nobody saw. So I could do this, you know what I mean? So I could be right here, right now.
I read something that you think that they are sort of a way of expressing life.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way?
My mom hates tattoos too. That's what's funny. Why do you draw on yourself all the time?
What was her reaction when you got your first? I mean, it is partially in honor of her though. So what did she say after your first?
It was hard for her to complain about it. It really was. But when I went full half sleeve the next one, then the complaints started coming out. Yeah, I just, you know, my brother has several tattoos as well. I think they got it from him. I think when I was seeing him at like 14, I'm like, I'm getting tattoos. You know what I mean? But I think it's just a cool way to express yourself. And you know, everything on my body has meaning. And, you know, even while I was in Miami, you know, everybody, what's that tattoo on your chest? And then I get to talk about, oh, I'm adopted, you know, this is what I think, you know, this is how I'm trying to help people, this and that, you know, and it's just a cool way for me to kind of lead people into conversation, you know what I mean, without even meaning to do it.
How do they motivate you?
Who?
Your tattoos.
I don't know if they motivate me, besides I gotta make sure I'm big so they look good. You know, I think it's more of just tells a story about me, you know what I mean? Whether, you know, it's this tattoo, talking about the Spartan, you know, I've got my Lord and Savior on this arm, you know, I've got my spirit animal on my forearm, my adoption tattoo, you know, I think it just tells a story of where I've been and where I'm going.
What are some of the other tattoos you have that are meaningful to you?
I've got this verse right here, Proverbs 16:9. Man establishes his ways, but God establishes steps. You know, I can always look down at that anytime I'm doing something and know that, you know, this isn't the plan that I wrote, but I know God's got me. I mean, all mine means something. You know, I've got my first tattoo right here is symbol for adoption. You know, I'm adopted. I worked with a nonprofits foundation this year. Was able to raise money for you know, kids that are less fortunate than me, and hopefully as I move into this next year, we can do more. You know, we got some big things in the works, and gonna keep trying to morph in and bringing that nonprofit to life, so I can give anybody, if I can help one kid get to another Brendon Evers situation, you know, turning a very negative thing in today's world, negative subject, into a positive aspect, you know, that's the ultimate goal.
You think adoption's a negative subject?
I don't think we're talking about the right things in that regard. You know, people are worried about having kids or not having kids, what should be done, this and that, but I think it kind of goes under the wayside of us talking about kids that are in these homes right now, that are having to, fight for a chance and almost go through a process like I am, trying to show people that, hey, like I'm good enough, I'll be a good, you know what I mean? It breaks my heart, when I go through these homes and see some of these kids, every single one of them has a bright smile on their face, and you just want to take them all with you, you know what I mean? I was fortunate, I have the greatest parents in the world, and they gave me everything they could have, and that's going to be the ultimate goal moving forward outside of football. Was able to, as I progressed through this life, and I've had some great mentors who were pushing me to go for it, and finally, this NIL stage in life, and in college athletics allowed me to do that, and I was more focused. I didn't care if I made a dime last year in NIL. I cared more about getting a word out, possibly getting some fundraising for people that deserved it, honestly.
Is the nonprofit you're talking about, is it your nonprofit, or is it a nonprofit that you work with?
It's a nonprofit I created, but we're working hand in hand right now with the Dave Thomas Foundation until I can get mine, obviously, to the point where I want to. Just a college kid right now. But it's something I'm not giving up on. It was kind of obviously hindered with me not playing, but was still able to shed a lot of light and, do a lot, especially for or Adoption Day,
What's your foundation called?
It's called Be Great Foundation, obviously my initials, something I hold dear to my chest, and something that I want to keep progressing, whether that's being able to keep continuing this clothing line I've done, keep continuing to do events, whatever I can do, you know what I mean? If there's any agency that listens to this or sees this, I'm down. I'm gonna call away. I'll put everything on the back burner.
How old were you when you were adopted?
A few months. My parents, that's all I know. You know what I mean? They were lucky enough to be put in contact with people who chose a less selfless, they had a very selfless act, very young kids, and were able to give me the life I deserved, and they did for sure.
May I ask if you've met your birth parents or have wanted to?
I definitely want to, something I hold on my sleeve, you know what I mean? I wear it on my chest, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've seen me on TV, I'm sure, you know what I mean? If I could tell them right now, y'all did the right thing.
So you have a brother. Was he also adopted?
He was, yeah, different family.
What's your relationship with him like?
It's great. He's obviously lived a very different lifestyle, being in the military, but that doesn't make us any less family. I don't really look as family as blood related, because I'm not related to anybody with my last name, blood-wise, but like I told you earlier, just like those guys downstairs are my family, I look at my brother the same way. My favorite times growing up was when he would come home from leave, and we just spend weeks together just doing all kinds of stuff, and the worst days were when I knew he had to go back overseas. So
what branch of the military was he in?
He was in the Army, served over in Iraq, did a lot of great things. Him along with my dad are definitely my heroes for sure. If there was anybody I was doing this for, it's my family, and I hope, I'm forever indebted to, I feel like, they'll never tell you that, but I'm forever indebted to my family, and everything they've been able to sacrifice to get me to this point. So hopefully I'm doing well.
How proud do you think they are of you that you're sitting here today after a pretty impressive pro day and an amazing career at Oklahoma State?
I hope they're good. If you ask my mom, all she cared about was me getting a degree, and I said, I did you one better, I got you 3. So but I hope they're very proud of me. I know I'm proud of them, that they've been able to come hand in hand with me through this whole journey, ups and downs. They've always been there. Every surgery, every game, they were there.
Talking a little bit before the interview, your brother did not play football. You actually wanted to follow in his footsteps.
Yep.
Why didn't you?
Probably would have hurt my mom. As we all know, athletics is never guaranteed how far you're going to go. And I was just lucky enough to get a shot at this next level, playing high level football. Who knows how my life would have shook out had I not taken this as seriously as I do. But, there's a certain sense of pride and willingness to give your life up for 10, 15 years of your life to go out there and serve our country overseas. You know what I mean? Especially in a very crazy time that he did. I know it weighed on my parents. It weighed on me, but I was too young to really grasp the concept like I probably would now. But he came out on the other side, and like I said, like one of my heroes that I do this for. One of my proudest moments here was probably getting to carry the flag out for military appreciation night. Like that really touched me, whether anybody knew it or not.
Was your brother here for that game?
He was watching on TV, but I know he appreciated it.
When did you realize that football was a legitimate path for you in life?
Probably junior year of high school. After getting probably the OSU offer, it was, this is going to be your life now, And you can reference check it. I think my life kind of changed from the inside out after that. And I knew that this is going to be a way, if nothing else, you're going to go get your education for free and take care of your family.
You grew up in Bixby, just down the road outside of Tulsa. How much Oklahoma State football did you watch growing up?
Yeah, nobody's going to like this. My family was OU season ticket holders for many years. We still got photos of me hanging up in the house with Bob Stoops, next to me. I know it's crazy to think about. But that's a great thing about my family. Almost overnight when I signed here, everybody kind of turned in their red and bought some black and orange. That's just kind of the people they are. Outside of my family is all my cousins who I look at as brothers and sisters as well. They've all been super supportive, never swayed or, even when I questioned my future here at OSU, they were like, wherever you go, like, we'll have your jersey, don't worry. That's the great thing about it. And forever grateful that I chose this school over others.
Grew up an OU fan. Why were you even considering coming here?
Kind of the people I talked about when you said who had an influential impact on my life. Like I told you, Joe Bob never led me astray, never promised me anything that was going to happen that was over the top. He said, you're going to have to come in here and work. And that was very unheard of. At that point in my career, a lot of teams were like, oh, you're going to be the face of the program. Joe Bob was like, we got NFL talent in front of you. You're going to have to come in and work. Never led me astray, never lied and said anything that didn't happen. So that's why I chose here, along with Coach Glass and everybody else in the facility. If there's one thing about it, they're going to instill a work ethic in you. And no matter what I do outside of my life, outside of football, I know I'm going to succeed just because of this, unwillingness to accept average in my life that they've kind of instilled in me.
One of the off-the-field honors you received while at Oklahoma State was being OSU's representative for the Big 12 Champions for Life. What is that?
Pretty much, it's a representative opportunity to go to Big 12 Media Day and get to talk about, how you excel on the field, but you excel in your community in the classroom as well. I get to meet 5 other guys from the Big 12 that I consider friends now. We still talk periodically. We talk on the field when we play each other. Other great guys who have my community outreach mindset and alike. You know what I mean? And it's funny. I can remember watching Vincent Taylor's commercial and being like, man, that'd be so cool if I get to do that one day. Like, get to talk about it. And, it kind of happened. I almost didn't believe the text, like, when I got it in the summer.
Who told you that you were going to be the representative?
I believe Coach Gundy texted me one. I was actually in the weight room working out with Coach Blatnick, and got the text out of nowhere. And, I was like, all right, now I got to figure out what I'm going to say. But it was great. It's something I still hold in high regard. I still get videos and Snapchats from people watching watching March Madness and seeing my commercial pop up. That's cool to me. Not for me, but because I get to speak on something that's I hold dear to my heart, and I get to show that this game isn't just a game. It's bigger than that. And along with those other guys and those other females as well that got to be representatives for their school. Hats off to all of them. I'm adopted, and it's something that's really shaped the way I've been brought up. Both my parents sacrificed a lot to give me the life that I have, and if I can give one opportunity to a kid like me who was put in a situation that wasn't their fault, but somehow they were given a better situation and able to make a life kind of like I did, that's a win for me.
Well, he's a great example of Oklahoma State football and the way he handles things, and he's doing things for the right reasons.
Oklahoma's very low as far as foster home funding and adoption funding and stuff like that. I'm really trying to work on getting funding for these homes here around Stillwater and around OKC and around Tulsa. Just trying to bring some type of extra money in for these kids to hopefully get them to permanent homes and then allot them truly loving families that can give them opportunities that I had. Because if nothing else, I hope to at least help one kid get the opportunity that I have and go on to do things bigger than I've even done.
Outside of football, you've also volunteered for Special Olympics. Why is that organization important to you? I just kind of believe that, everybody in this world deserves the opportunity. You know what I mean? Some people are given, above me on maybe what they've earned. But I think a lot of times kids who maybe weren't dealt a fair share in life, they deserve the same opportunity we do. And, if nothing else, seeing those kids' faces light up when they're down in the weight room, they're about to go lift, and they're like, all right, you're going to watch me, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm right here with you. Just seeing their faces takes me back to when I was a kid, you know what I mean? And wanting that attention and that sense of belonging, and you always don't get it, and those kids almost never get it. So I think it's very special to see that. I think it's a big thing that maybe goes by the wayside sometimes, but I'm glad I was able to be a part of that. You said your favorite moment of your time at Oklahoma State was getting to carry the flag out for Veterans Appreciation Day. What is your biggest accomplishment of your Oklahoma State career?
Definitely 2021 season, we beat Texas at their stadium, beat OU at home, and got our team to the Big 12 championship game, and then won a Fiesta Bowl. How much, you know what I mean? I still critique myself on that season because we should have been in the playoffs, but that's neither here or there. You know what I mean? I'm the biggest critic of myself, and I guess I completely forgot we were also the best defense in school history. All 11 of those guys I still talk to on a daily. I still talk to Jim Knowles on a daily. People that, all those guys will be at my wedding one day. You know what I mean? Stuff we accomplished that year will never be forgotten, and it's special that I got to be a part of that. My name's attached to that.
You were the best defensive line in school history, yet you still critiqued yourself. Won the Fiesta Bowl. Still, what are you critiquing about your performance from 2021?
Look at the guys around me. We got Colin Oliver, true freshman. He's going to be a dog at middle linebacker this year. Brock, who I've been competing with since we were kids, growing up in whether it was on the wrestling mat or on the football field. Tyler Lacey, I knew the kid before we even got here. When he was coming around as a recruit, you know what I mean? Seeing everybody elevate and evolve into the guys that they are now is special. But Coach Glass never lets you get complacent, and you can ask him. I'm probably the hardest critic on myself, and just never. I could have went out there today and hit first in all combine numbers, and I probably still would have found something to complain about to myself. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of the reason I'm here today. That's probably the reason I didn't check it in and call and retire after 3 shoulder surgeries in a calendar year. It's just who I am.
How do you hope Oklahoma State fans remember you?
I hope they can just reflect and remember me as a kid that always showed up, never showed a bad light in OSU, always held the program in the highest respect and honor, and also did some stuff on the field.
What do you think your legacy is here in Stillwater?
Probably that hardworking defensive lineman that maybe didn't get all the accolades and awards that he wanted, because believe me, I wanted them all. But like I said, never showed this university in a bad light and made the most of my years here.
What's your why?
Probably to pay that debt back that I'll never pay back to my parents, you know. To bring this name that I have, that I wear on the back of my jersey, to light in a positive aspect, and ultimately just at the end of the day to make sure they're proud. Like I said, they've given up and sacrificed so much, and if I can repay them back in any way, you know, if they can have a comfortable life from here on out, I did my job. And that's any son or daughter would hope for.